Hello and welcome to another Fly UK stream. So we're in Brisbane. It's morning there. So obviously in the UK, it's getting on to 20 to 8 in the evening in the UK, but over in Australia, it's the morning. So we could almost like start our day again, you know, in some ways. But yeah, we are at the gate. We're boarding the passengers, and we also have Jerry on board. Hello, Jerry.
Good evening, all. How are you all doing? I hope hope we have a good session this evening, then.
Yeah, and me as well. I mean, we haven't had a bad one yet, have we? You know, but that's a good thing. I mean, it is a simulator. You know, I don't want to jinx it or anything. So Damien says hello, Dan and Jerry. Big hello from my cockpit from Dublin to Cavan.
Oh,
wow, incredible.
Oh, he's on the road to Cavan in the truck. What a shout out to Damien. Okay. He's doing the truck simulation tonight.
Oh, fantastic.
Hey.
I was just trying to think of the airport, you know.
Keep the eyes on the road. That's all I can say. Keep the eyes on the road.
Hi, Gringo Man 948. Welcome back to the stream. I do remember you from the last stream as well. Thanks so much. So Louis, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Yeah, as Gringo Man has actually let everybody know. Yeah, so where to? So we're going to Sydney. We're going from Brisbane to Sydney tonight, and we've got quite a few on board already. By the looks of it, you've got 120 over on the TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go in the flight deck. I don't know how many's on YouTube yet, but I think there's 3 over in YouTube. So like last time, we're going to have Jerry to have a bit of a walk around. But before we do, let's just power up and let's basically start loading the passengers, because that's the important one. So power.
Do you want me to go outside and do the walk around? Do you?
Yeah. Well, you get out ready, and then what I'll do.
Yeah, when you start the passengers and fuel,
I'll start the passengers. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, let me get me coat 1 second.
Okay. Okay, so while Jerry's outside, we'll just start loading the passengers in, and at least we can get that going. So send the request. We've got 161 passengers on board, and we'll start those boarding now. Init request, and just make sure we're hooked up with the outside wireless headphones with Jerry outside. Jerry, are you outside and ready for the walk around?
I'm outside. I'm just not ready for the walk around yet. Just have to adjust something here.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, it's crazy. Very foggy and windy at Bristol Airport today. Yeah, apparently there's a storm over the weekend. Damien has said autopilot engaged and ready for a great flight tonight.
Hey.
Thanks, Damien. I appreciate that. It's Taylor on Twitch. How are you today? I'm good, thank you. You good? All good, Jerry?
Yeah, all good there. Ready to go.
Ready to go. Okay, so Jerry cam coming on, and the outside shot is there.
Excellent. I'm just having a little look at the front of the... Oh, I'm gone into the cart there. So, having a little look there, what we're basically checking is the front nose of the aircraft. Make sure there was no damage from the previous crew. Maybe there was some boards that got hit. So that all looks clean. We're looking at the old static port in the middle of that red circle there. So that's nice and clean. And at this point, I suppose I'll go down there and just check the wheels. Basically, anything to do with hydraulic fluid, we'd see it dripping on the ground, and that looks nice and clean. And when we look up along the struts as well, even looking up into the bay, that all looks pretty tidy there, so that looks very nice. Looking then around the edge of the aircraft, all looks good, no damage there, and straight down to the main gear wheels. So again, I'm looking for more hydraulic fluid, nothing there. Looking up, that looks all nice and tidy there. No icing underneath the wings from the night before there, Dan. And looking straight into the engine. Yeah, that looks nice and tidy there. Look at that for an engine. Look at that. Not fantastic piece of kit. So looking up along the edge, nothing there, nothing got hit. Oh, Dan, I never switched on the navigation lights. Could you switch those on for us, please?
Yeah, I'll switch those navigation lights on. So
and you might as well put the strobes on as well.
Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Navigation and strobes there, looking well. That's great. Thank you very much. Again, at the wing, all looks good. And around the back, no damage along the wing. Into the back of the engine. Yeah, nice and tidy, nice and clean. That's basically what we're looking for, Dan, is any drips that you would see coming down off the struts up into the hydraulic space. See those lines up there? If you're going to see anything, you'll probably see a drip or two coming from that. Especially down here at the wheel, you'd see a little pool of hydraulic fluid there. That all looks nice and tidy. Continuing on down to the back. Go backwards here. Let's have a look up the tail end. Yeah, nice and tidy. Nice graphic effects there from the APU. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It really
Fantastic.
looks cool, doesn't it? It really looks cool. So let's have a look here. Again, everything looks nice and tidy. So coming up here, just checking the main strut gear for any fluid. Oh, looks pretty decent. Back of the engine. Yeah. Along the wing there. Fly UK, we're in the correct aircraft.
We are in the correct aircraft, thank goodness for that.
Oh, what's that there? Oh no, sorry, it's only a little mark. No, that's all right. I thought there was some damage there. I was going to say, last time we took this was to Vegas. Did we hit anything on the way in? No.
I didn't know whether it was that sort of aircraft tape that they use, the engineers, you know.
The high-speed duct.
Yeah,
any hole, you
high-speed
put the
duct
tape over it,
yeah.
and it's sorted. So all looks very tidy there, and all the way up. Over to you.
Okay, well, we're going back into the office, I should say. So we are back in the flight deck, and we are boarding the passengers. So someone's asked when we're going to be taking off. So I'd imagine the next 20 minutes or so, roughly. Would you say, Jerry?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, probably as soon as the passengers will be the.
Yeah, as soon as the passengers are on board, really. Okay, so we're at 77 passengers on board out the 161. So let's go and start loading the fuel on as well.
Sure.
So fuel today, and that's including the 600.6 extra, 626.2 tons. So it's 6.228. Yeah. Would you round it down or round
always
it up?
Round it up. Always take more, never take less. Yeah, okay. Always take more. The only useless thing is the fuel you leave in the Bowser, you know.
Okay, 6.3 tons, and we'll start loading that in now. Estimated time 3 minutes.
Okay.
So we're at the other part of the world at the moment, and we've got a little bit of rain clouds around here.
There is a small bit of rain just forecast. We might get out in time just before it happens, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So the ADRSs are still being aligned, etc. I think it's a good time to talk about our Patreon members just while that's being loaded in. So Patreon members are sort of people that can support the channel extra. They get extra benefits to that, like behind the scenes access to content, and but the main one is being mentioned and being appreciated every Simulator Live, especially every Simulator Live. So who do we have on board? So Patreon members in economy. We have nobody in economy, so nobody wants to take up the economy seats yet. We've got 100 available for economy, but nobody has taken them on board. And in business, we have Living History UK, Aviation Guy, Matthew Allen, Niall, Steve Rowe, and the rest of the seats are empty, ready to be claimed. So yeah, I mean, I do appreciate so much everybody that has signed up to a Patreon, being a Patreon member, that regardless of whether you sign up in economy, business class, or first class, like I say, I do appreciate it, and that little bit extra support sort of allows me to keep making the streams better, keep making the content better. So it's Living History UK, the Aviation Guy, Matthew Allen, Niall Conway, Steve Rowe. Thank you ever so much. And in first class we have Christian, we have Craig Salter, we have John Restle. Thank you ever so much for the first class members. So they're the top tier, and it is limited to 12 seats. I literally can't thank you enough, and I hope you enjoy your first class meal and all the trimmings in that first class. Thanks ever so much. And going back to well, actually, before I do that, how can you sort of join? So you can join by going to patreon.com/flyuk, and you can simply just choose where you want to sit, really, economy, business class or first class. So I'll let you decide. That's how you can support the channel further. But if you just your support alone on the channel is important to me as well. So that's just how you can support a little bit extra. Okay, so the ADRSs have come online, which is great, and we are just watching Jerry set up, I think.
Yeah, just snuck in there to try and get a little bit of updated weather. That's all. So okay, here we go. The weather's coming. And print. There you go, sir. It's all yours.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, the initiation's already been done on that, and runway departure today.
That's going to be runway 19.
Runway 19 left. And do you know what the SID will be?
It might be just a radar climb out, because there was a changeover in the navigation database. However, is there a Sanghi with departure in there? A Sanghi 1 Golf? A Sanghi Golf? Yeah.
Sanghi Golf 1.
Or Sanghi 1 there, yeah. No, Sanghi 1 will be
Sani,
Golf. Yeah.
Sani Golf 1.
Yep.
Okay, insert.
Yep.
Okay, so that's in there, and let's have a look at the other. Just have a look. Okay, so what's the code for the starting airport, sorry?
It's YBBN.
YBBN. Put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel is on board, so we're just waiting for the passengers now. So as soon as we do that, we can do our centre of gravity and checks and the V1.
Sure. Just to confirm, Dan, the departure is runway 19 left.
Runway 19 left, yeah.
Yeah, 19 left. That's perfect. We can work out the arrival at the other end.
Perfect.
That's
okay,
awesome.
so 160 out of 161 passengers are now on board. Thank goodness for that. Because sometimes they're a little bit slow, aren't they?
They are. They can be. I think that might come with the update there. I don't know. Sorry, there wasn't an update. We didn't actually need to do anything. I don't know why. I just don't know why.
Yeah. Certainly, that last passenger's taking his time. Look, it might be that he's not actually coming on board, and we might have to leave him like that. So we'll see. Let's just go away from the screen and come back. So how many flying hours have you got then, Jerry? Roughly?
I think in total, somewhere between 12 and 13,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I've been up there once. I filled them that length of time, you know.
That's crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Initial departure, we're going to go to altitude of 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet.
QNH 1013. Cabin crew, see we have Yvonne on board again this evening. The usual hand baggage problems back there.
I think this passenger's obviously not boarding, so we'll assume that we'll speak with the cabin, make sure that that's the case. But we might as well do the weight off that. So 25.3.
Okay, Dan, though, do you want me to give you a small quick brief before we go? If you can open up the departure, if you have the Sanghi departure there, handy enough. If not, just open up the box and I'll talk through the box while I'm looking at the play here on my screen.
Yeah, And do you want me to put it over to the Jerry cam to talk through?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, Jerry cam coming up now. So
sure.
With the little bit of delay with the thing. So
yeah.
There we go.
Okay, we are looking this evening. We're parked on stand 68, which is actually just around here in the flight simulator. Once we push back, we'll be taxiing down the taxiway. Ooh, let me get the correct plate up for you. We'll be coming out here. We'll be taxiing all the way down by the Bravos, and we get to the very end of the Bravo. Then we'll be lining up on this departure runway 19 left. Once we line up on the runway, we'll check flex set by 80, call 100 V1 and rotate on the engine and flight instruments, and we'll call any failure affecting safety. In the event of a failure before V1 speed, Dan will call stop or go. In the event of a stop, he'll close the thrust levers and select max reverse. I'll call spoilers, reverse screen, decel and 70 knots. We'll take no further actions until we stop the aircraft on the runway. We'll set the parking brake, and then we'll assess the situation. In the event of a failure at or after V1 of Dan calls go, we'll continue to take off. I'll raise the landing gear as normal, silence any aural warns and announce the failure. And once Dan stabilised, he'll consider toga and autopilot. So the any actions that we're going to do initial today will be up above 450 feet on the bar reference. Our departure today, we're looking at the Sanghi departure. It actually comes off runway 19 here. So basically, as we come off here, we need to overfly this GPS point called Botsu, and we need to be above 600 feet. So looking in here, we see Botsu is there, and we overfly that at 600 feet, which is marked there. Then the aircraft will take a turn to a point called Didan, and we can't be above 220 knots. And we can see in the box there, Didan, and it's marked as 220 knots. From Didan to Point Dennis, and Dennis continues on to Lily, and then on to Sanghi. So Lily, and that takes us all the way down to Sanghi. We're going to climb to initially 10,000 feet, which Dan has already pre-selected in the FCU here. So we can see it there, 10,000 feet. So effectively, according to the flight plan and according to the box, once Dan gets airborne, puts the autopilot in, it'll be time for tea.
Perfect.
That's it. All done.
Thanks so much for that, Jerry. And,
no problem.
And we're going back to the Dan cam.
Sure. Dan cam. I love the ring of that. I love the ring of that.
Well, it's just nice to have these different shots, and obviously give people a different view as well. Hi, Samila. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Today we have to go to Kathmandu, Nepal. Oh wow! So Samila's going to Kathmandu actually. So that's the local airport.
Wow!
That's what a cool local airport that is. So the passengers are boarded, Jerry.
We're ready to go,
and we are ready to go. So we can do our before start checklist.
Absolutely, go for it.
So fuel and feed check
is checked.
Cockpit prep
is complete.
EFS switches.
They're on.
Gear pins and covers.
There's 3 behind. There's none outside. I checked earlier on.
Signs.
On, auto, and armed.
ADRS.
There's 3 in nav and it's checked.
Fuel and block.
It's 6.3 is requested and it's there and balanced.
Barrel reference.
1013 set once, set twice, and set 3 times. Reads just over 20 feet.
Perfect. And below the line, mobile phone and iPad.
Is off airplane mode.
Takeoff data.
You set it in the box there for 132, 133, 137, and 0.5 nose up and toga.
Okay, perfect. Thrust levers. Windows and doors.
It's closed and armed. I think we got that from the cabin crew there. Yeah,
let me just do that. Yeah, thank you. Windows and doors, thrust levers.
Idle.
ATC transponder.
Is auto.
Parking brake and accumulator.
Is checked, and the pressure is checked.
And peaking, well, it is now. Yeah, thanks. Thanks to Jerry's.
It wasn't great.
You were checking it before. Just that we.
I wonder what happened to that overnight when the accumulator pressure just went down. Yeah, and the beacon is on. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so before start, checklist complete, and we
just before we go, Dan. Just before we go, I just need to check the VAT map because with a bit of luck, we might have some ATC.
Okay, perfect.
We did it earlier on. We filed the plan, and hopefully down down under, they'll give us the dig out for all this. So let's just check. We have ATC. Even though we have the plan filed, currently ATC is alive on our approach going into Sydney. We've none here at this moment in time, so I'll just use Unicom.
Okay, so just for the call sign, Jerry.
It's Qantas 764.
And that's QS, is it?
QF, yeah.
QF, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. The bypass
64.
764, yeah.
764.
Equipment is removed.
And Brisbane traffic, very good evening. Qantas 764, we're on stand 568. And we're going to push and start for departure. 1 line left. Okay, so you are clear, push and start.
Okay, clear, push and start.
Standing by for pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push.
Hi from
Parking brake
South
set.
Korea. Wow, that's
Wow.
incredible.
Oh.
Ants Places.
Please
Is this
release
VR?
parking
It's
brake.
that's over on YouTube. No, it's something called Track IR5. Release parking brake 3, 2, 1.
One released.
Parking brakes are
And
released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
what's side the tail going to? Sorry.
It'd be going to the left.
Okay, to the left.
Just so the jet bridge.
Oh
comes in
no,
the
I've seen
cockpit.
that. That's interesting.
I was in there. Ooh,
Yeah,
what's
that'd definitely cause some damage.
As we say back in Ireland, keep our lit, keep it going.
Let's have a look on the outside.
Oh.
Are you still with us, Jerry?
I'm still there. What we
Okay.
disconnected was the external power.
Oh, they still okay. Let's see. Oh dear. Do you know that was actually off though, wasn't it? That was,
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Because
When those sim anomalies, maybe there's something
Maybe.
to surprise us later on, you know.
Oh, thanks for the gifts, by the way. Thank you for the gifts. And while we're on the gifters, these were the top gifters from last stream. So the top gifters from this stream will get a mention on next Simulator Live. Thank you ever so much. So Kim was the top one on this stream. Okay, and the tail
to the
goes
left.
to the left.
That's it. Yeah. And that line that's coming up in front of you, over the dash, you're going to get on that line heading out, okay?
Okay.
Or even there's one behind you as well, so you can just keep going.
Okay, I'll.
Super. Any one of those exits will take you to where you're going. Oh, the roses are starting to come through already.
Okay,
Oh,
pushback
there we go.
completed.
From
Please set
South
your parking
Korea.
brake.
Well, never got roses from there before, did we? That?
Thank you for the gifts. I do appreciate it. Parking brake set.
And set.
Parking brake set.
Parking
You're
brake
clear to
set.
start
Lowering
engine
aircraft.
2 1.
Okay. Start and engine 2.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Yvonne, thank you for the likes, Yvonne. Nuclear Limit, how is your flight training going? Well, I've got my medical in 3 days, so as soon as my class 1, I know, I can't wait. As soon as my class 1 medical is out of the way, then I'll be starting my training ground school, basically, for the airlines. I can't wait. Honestly, it's going to be great.
Excellent.
It's going to be fantastic.
Q&H just changed to 1014, set it there for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take...
So Dan, did you say you have an eye on the tracker? Can you just explain the track IR again, please?
Exit routes, oxygen masks,
so-
life jackets, and
have an eye on the what, sorry?
There was just a comment there from one of the viewers saying, did you say you had an eye on your track. It's actually called track
sorry.
IR.
Sorry. Good spot. So Phenox 92. So basically, it's essentially a clip that goes onto your headset, and it reflects starting one.
Yeah. Sorry.
And it reflects light into. There's a device that sits on top of your monitor or at the bottom of your monitor, and that beams out infrared light. The clip that goes onto your headset reflects that back into a sort of a triangular sort of way, so that it knows axis and how close you are, etc. And and that gives you your VR effect, and it's fantastic, isn't it, Jerry? I mean, you absolutely love it.
It's probably the best add-on. Like, I've been at the flight sim for, I'd say in total of 20 years, and it's probably the best piece of kit I bought.
Yeah. Someone's asking me to do a video on the Class 1. We'll certainly try. I hope I don't think anybody wants to see me with my shirt off.
Some things just need to not. Some things just cannot be unseen. You be careful what you ask for.
Maybe I could do a video after I've done that. Pilot Northern Ireland has said, Jerry, I booked a flight with with an airline today, Rome to April. Actually,
they're pretty good. I've used those down to Rome before. They are actually pretty good. You're going to get a good service off those. Guaranteed. I did a flight with those as well to Vegas there about 2 years ago, and I have to say the experience going over to New York and then on down, it was just flawless the way they work. So I'd say you're going to have a great experience there.
I mean, Rome is going to be amazing as well, isn't it?
It's a beautiful place.
So, James, are you flying from Belfast, or are you flying from Dublin? And places, thank you. This is cool. Unfortunately, I can't get myself a flight sim on my PS4 and then have a good PC. Oh, that's a shame, man. Hopefully you can get it at some point in the future, or they actually bring it out on the PS4. But because being a Microsoft product, they're probably going to keep it for themselves, really, unless they get a decent license fee.
I'd say so.
Okay, so
let's start. The flow. Well, we want to do the flow first. So we take the ignition normal.
Ignition is normal.
You take the APU bleed off and the APU.
APU bleed off and the APU. Yeah.
I will arm the spoilers, 0 to trim, flap 1, retreat to 1.
Yeah.
And flap 1, and you've set the trim for me. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Okay, so after start checklist, anti-ice
is not required.
Engine mode select
is normal.
Rudder trim
is 0.
Pitch trim.
It's 0.5 up there, and that reads just over. Let me get. I can't quite see that. 27%. 26%. Looks reasonable. Okay.
Flight instruments
are checked.
And ECAM status.
The ECAM status is checked.
Perfect.
Okay.
So
Brisbane traffic. Good evening. Qantas 764 taxi into hold short runway 19 left.
Okay, so before taxi lights, runway.
Okay, so you're basically going straight out down with a left-hand turn all the way up.
Okay, perfect. Okay, ready to taxi, park brake off.
And off.
I thought Australia was always sunny.
You would think. It's summertime down here at the moment, isn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah, summertime down here at the moment.
Is it? Oh yeah, it's the opposite, isn't it? So we're a left turn here.
Yeah, it's a left turn here and down. There's another taxiway just out parallel to it to your right. You'd be looking to get onto that at some stage.
Okay.
I'll just double check. So, any plans for the weekend then?
Well, I'm hoping to actually go flying at some point this weekend, tomorrow or whatever. But we've got this storm that's come in, and the gusts are reported to be quite bad. Now, I don't mind. I don't mind a bit of wind, to be honest, as long as it's within limits of the aircraft.
Sure.
So I'll have to check. So I'm taking a right turn here just to get onto that parallel taxiway. Yeah, is that correct?
So Fenox92 says he bought the T1600 joystick and throttle yesterday. Gonna try flight sim for the first time tonight. I actually looked at that before, and Dan, you talked me into the Trustmaster, so I bypassed that one. Next left, yeah. So I bypassed that one. So listen, pop in on the next stream and let us know how you get on with that.
Nuclear Limit said, how difficult is it? I'm just wondering, are you talking about the Class 1 medical or the exams? Well, I don't know about either of them yet. I mean, I do know that the ATPL exams are certainly nothing. You can't sort of take them, and hope to pass them without studying. You've got to study. But by all accounts, it is achievable because obviously people have achieved it. But you have to put in the hard work as well. Thanks for the gifts. I really appreciate the gifts over on TikTok. Thanks so much. Class 1 is difficult. So Class 1 involves a bit more of a in-depth look at your eyes, your ears, your heart. I've already had a Class 2 medical twice, but it takes it a little bit further. I mean, I had to have an ECG for a Class 2 medical, so it should be fine. It's just the audiology that I wouldn't have had a full ear test. I haven't had one of them since I was a child, so that'll be interesting. I hope the years of playing in a band haven't done too much damage, but we'll see.
No, in fairness, just on that, Dan, I would say if there was ever a little thing that I was brought up on one of my medical, it would have been just in relation to the hearing. I used to go clay pigeon shooting when I was a bit younger.
Yeah.
And they noticed it did have a small little effect, just a slight little difference in the ears. But I mean that.
Well, it'll be. I'm just trying to think now. It'll probably be my right ear that will probably be the worst one, because that I was always on the left of the stage, and that's where the drums were and the bass and all the rest of it. So we'll see.
Here we go. Right. So the runway is the next turn to the right.
Okay, and Nuclear Limit, how good does your eyesight have to be? It has to be reasonably good, doesn't it, Jerry? I mean,
I can tell you that. Okay, I was told. So we all have an idea what the optician's chart looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
We have the one big letter at the top, and then we have 3 next letters on the next line. I was told, subject to correction, obviously, you must be able to read the 3 letters uncorrected, and then corrected, you must then be able to read down to the second last line with no other, I say we hold our holding point here, with no other serious illnesses or large stigmatisms and that kind of stuff with the eye. So that's the information that I got.
Yeah, that so it's the second from bottom line, is that right? Is that
corrected? Yeah, once they're corrected.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we have the before takeoff checklist. I think we have a flight to do here, don't we?
I know. It's like a bit of a a podcast, isn't it? As always.
Absolutely.
But, okay, so before takeoff checklist, flight controls
are checked.
Briefing and nav aids.
It's confirmed and set for departure off runway 19 left. It is the Sanic 1 departure. We're climbing initially to an altitude flight level of 100.
Okay, and flaps.
1 is planned, 1 is selected, and 1+F is indicating.
And okay, and V speeds.
It's a V1 at 132, 133, 137, and we're using Toga today. Gives us 84.8%, and that's sensible.
Okay, perfect. And ATC code
is set.
ECAM memo.
It's takeoff with the 1 blue. You need to check where you want to see. Have you got that cabin secured again?
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
There we go.
That was shooting a bit of bother there, anyway. Okay, so.
Okay, and EFS, below the line EFS and iPad.
Stowed.
Cabin.
Secured. She just gave it to us.
PAX and APU.
The PAX is on and the APU is off.
TCAS.
It's TA or A.
Perfect. Okay, before takeoff, checklist complete.
Okay.
Right.
Brisbane traffic, good evening again. Qantas 764. We are lining up runway 19 left. So your lights, your strobes. Oh, you're way ahead of me here then. Strobes, the PWS, TARA, brake fans off, camera is off, and the memos are checked.
Okay. Lining up then.
Yay.
Thanks
So
for the
it's
gifts.
clear on the right.
Sorry, I think it's Surik. Thank you ever so much for the gifts. The top gifters last time were those that are listed there. So Kim being the number one. So the next top gifters on the next stream, a simulator stream, will be mentioned from this stream. So thank you ever so much for the gifts. I do appreciate it. And we're lining up nicely here.
Okay, eyes out. Let's go. Traffic, good evening. Qantas 764, departing runway 19 left. We're clear takeoff.
Stabilised and toga.
Mantoga SRS, runway, the auto thrust is blue. Thrust is set. Indications are normal. 100 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Hero.
Hero.
Wow, the weather looks fantastic.
Doesn't it?
Climb thrust.
Climb thrust.
And autopilot engage.
Okay. Everyone engaged.
Okay, and
S plus increase.
Flap zero,
yeah. 0. And that's perfect. It should maintain its 220 knots.
Okay.
Until it gets past Datan. And then it'll do its thing.
Perfect. Okay, after takeoff checklist, landing gear.
Is up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Hacks.
Hacks are on and we are pressurizing.
APU.
Is off.
Barrel reference.
It's a QNH 1014 set.
Okay, perfect. After takeoff checklist complete.
And just confirm you are routing to Dadan, yeah?
Correct.
Excellent.
Affirmative. Hello, Jenna. Jenna's back on there. So,
hey, Jenna, welcome. Good to see the regulars pop back in. Set standard.
Set standard.
Sorry, I just did.
Okay. So,
the standard set 6-1 for flight.
Perfect. I mean, the views are fantastic here.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Incredible.
We'll go over to the jerry can in 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. I can just about see some houses on the ground. People waving up at us. There's their fans down in Australia waving up then.
Oh, wow.
Here we go.
Okay, going back over to my cam now.
Sure.
You'll see that we've got a window view. Just like the passengers would. Absolutely fantastic.
Clear to flight level 310.
Okay, flight level 310.
Ooh, where are the sound those spoilers?
Oops.
Yeah, you're good. You're doing good.
I've had a full MCP failure.
Oh, we did actually.
Hold on.
It was the light. You turned off the light.
Oh dear, I nearly had a heart attack then.
I love it.
What's going on, you know?
Okay, passing 10. So lights and
10.
belts.
Okay, landing lights off. Seatbelts, signs off.
All those lights up there beside the landing lights, the whole row will go off. And we are pressurizing. We're on our way.
Amazing. Look at
That there, Dan, actually, that there with the whole FCU gone is a double FCU failure. That's a nightmare.
Really?
I was reaching for the emergency checklist there now. I was thinking about a double FCU failure. How are we going to get this back in? We've pressurization problems, we've everything.
I mean, literally, you know, if that happened in the real world, I mean, how could we disengage the auto? I mean, would we just hope that the side stick would disengage it?
Actually, funny you should say that. No, this is not a memory item, but off the top of my head, when we trained for it, I think the last time we actually trained for this was 2 years ago. It's when you have a double FCU failure, basically you've no control through the autopilot of altitudes and so on. So you basically disconnect the autopilot and you fly it yourself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But it's you're flying it to bring it back into land, and that's not an issue, not an emergency. You'd be telling air traffic control, hey, listen, we've a bit of an issue here. I just want priority to land, so to speak.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't be continuing on with that.
Steve Rowe, Patreon member, is on board. How you doing, Steve?
How you doing, Steve? Great to see you back.
Thanks for the follows, thanks for the shares over on TikTok. Thanks to everybody that's liking and sharing the stream over on the other channels like YouTube and Twitch. Nuclear Limit said, how do you afford the type rating programs? Like Ryanair is 30k, Nuclear Limit has said. Now the thing is that not all airlines require you to pay for your own type rating, from what I can gather. That's the first thing. Secondly, then a lot of people that I know that have gone to the likes of Ryanair, they've actually negotiated a tie-in with that airline where they have a lower wages essentially for 12 months, 2 years, and they pay it out of their wages at a lower rate, but they can't leave the airline or something. It's something like that. I mean, Jerry might know a little bit more about type ratings and
you'll probably find at different periods of time, depending on demand, whether some airlines will pay for type rating, or some airlines out there never really pay for type rating. They always want you to pay for it. But if an airline pays for your type rating, I mean, it's a significant cost, from turboprops from 20 grand up to 30, 35 grand for Airbus 320 and so on. What they will do is they'll pay for it, but they will bond you to the airline for 3 years. You can't leave within 3 years. And if you do, well, then you will pay a pro rata amount back to the airlines. Now, that's the way I've heard it worked out, but, does it ever work that way? I'm not sure.
And the thing is with that, that's only on par with the likes of accountancy firms or other corporate firms like law firms that would tie you to
a bond,
tie you to a bond of the accountancy courses, etc., or law courses. So that's pretty standard. Nuclear Limit said, what type of pilot is Jerry? He's a commercial pilot, flies Airbus A320s in for real life airline. Thank you for the follow, Whistlers10. I appreciate that. And anybody that's public subscribing on YouTube, by the way, will pop up across all the streams. So anyone that's a public subscriber and you subscribe to the Fly UK channel, you'll get a little animation. So Christian Featherstone, first class Patreon member, how you doing? He's over on YouTube. Great stream as always, Dan. Welcome. It's really nice to see the regulars. I call them the regulars. Me and Jerry call them the regulars on the stream.
It's the names we recognise, and of course the patrons as well.
Yeah, Jenna, Kim, I don't believe can make it tonight. She did let us know on the last, I think it was the last stream.
Kim is actually flying today, as far as my memory serves me correct. I think she's flying today. So shout out to Kim. Hope you're enjoying your flight.
Well, if there's onboard Wi-Fi, she might even be able to view the stream on board. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, Nuclear Limit, would you advise a degree of directly into a flight school? Do you advise a degree of directly? I think. I think what Nuclear Limit's asking is, would you? I think there's two things. Would you get a degree before going into a flight school? And I think maybe the second one is, do you recommend going direct, doing an integrated course? I mean, there's benefits. There's benefits for everything. You know, a degree obviously may help you in a sort of a situation where, you know, there's two pilots and there's only one position. One's got a degree with all the same credentials as that other pilot. They might say, actually, do you know what? I'll take that guy with the degree. It's like it's like outside in the real world, you know, with normal, you know, other jobs other than non-aviation related jobs. It's just a way of getting your foot into that interview room. What you do once you get into that interview room is, you know, that's up to you, you know. And I think it's, you know, it's important to say that you don't have to have a degree, but if timeline allows, then it's probably best to get, you know, as much qualifications as a backup plan as well, just in case it doesn't work out in the aviation industry.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen that in the last 2 years, Dan. The case in point. Do you know what I mean? Every airplane in the world is practically grounded, and I know a lot of guys. I've heard of pilots being engineers, medical people, and they were able to sort of fall back to their initial training and work in those fields.
Yeah, and someone's Connor over on TikTok has said, are there beginner modes for this game? There are beginner modes. You can actually have assisted flying on, so that it will sort of manage, won't allow you to sort of turn too much and you know, automatically do the rudders for you if you haven't got rudder pedals. So there are beginner modes. This is an add-on which allows you to have a lot more realism, you know, a lot more sort of control surfaces available to you that you wouldn't have in the standard Airbus A320. So I think that if you were to download this, then, you know, it might be a little bit too much if you are just starting out. But the standard Airbus A320 with the you know, the assisted controls, then that's probably the way to go if you're new to it, or maybe starting on something smaller like a Piper Cub or something like that.
Did you see the Dan? Did you see the update that's coming? Part of the roadmap for Microsoft Flight Simulator is to actually produce PDF manuals for the aircraft, so you can get into this as much as you want, and you can push this as much as you want and push yourself. So it depends on your appetite for the flying.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this simulator, is that you can be as, like say, it can be as complicated or it can be as simple, like Jerry said. And I've just had we've just got a few comments over, switching over manually to the Cockpit here. So we've got a few comments. So did Jerry do modular or integrated training? Do you want to answer that, Jerry?
Yeah, full-time training. And with the full-time, well, it started off as modular, and then money became available, or I should say the situation changed, and then I decided, okay, well, I'm going to go in full-time, and I went in full-time, and it was brilliant. There is advantages of doing modular as well. It actually really depends on your situation, it depends on your finances, and it depends on what suits you best. There is no preference, I would believe, and this is from my experience, what I'm seeing. When you go for that interview, they want to know, have you successfully got to where you're getting to, plus can we train you for it? And if you meet those two criteria, you're a candidate.
Yeah. And Medic Stephen, how are you? Did you have your medical? So medicals in 3 days time. My class 1 medicals in 3 days time at Heathrow. And I can't wait, because, you know, once that's out the way, then I can actually get onto studying the airline exams, the ATPLs. I just can't wait. Nuclear Limit on Twitch has said, how much experience does Jerry have? Lots of experience, don't you?
Yeah, between 12 and 13,000 hours.
Which is crazy. Should we switch over to the Jerry cam and have a look over what Jerry's seeing over on his side?
Oh, Jerry's just chilling. He's just sitting back in the seat, chilling here. Like, let's have a little.
You're over on the Jerry cam now.
Let's just inspect the top panel there. Everything looks good. So just a quick note there, Dan. See the way I'm looking at the top panel.
Yeah.
Do you notice the way there is no lights on the any of the buttons.
Yes.
As a piece of information, that's the Airbus philosophy. Lights out.
Okay.
So if
yeah.
all the lights are out, things must be running good. That's a small bit of nonsense information there. Anyway, looking out on let's see if we can get any views out on the right hand side here. We're a little bit too high, but look, it's looking spectacular there on the way down. I think the weather is forecasting also to be good when we get there. So hopefully this is going to be a non-eventful flight, because I was just thinking, Dan, you have a medical on Monday, okay? And the last thing we want to do is something to be stressful here to put you up through the roof.
That is true. Christian Featherstone, Patreon member over on YouTube, he said, I always watch but normally stay quiet. That's his first comment. And then he said, have you taken a look at the landing at Kai Tak yet? No, but what I'm going to do that for you this weekend without fail. That is a special request from Christian as a Patreon member to do that. Yvonne is checking in, guys. You're both okay for everything before we begin?
I'm okay for the moment. Are you?
I'm okay. Thank you, Yvonne. That's
clear to climb flight level 350.
350.
Dan, just to tidy up things through your controls, I'm just going to do. Can you tell me what point you're going direct to there?
Yeah, so I'm drifting off there. Can I just have the box for a little bit?
Yeah, you just go direct to Tessie.
It's still at Sank.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So go direct to Tessie, and that'll tidy everything up.
Okay, direct to Tessie. There we go.
I'll put you back on. There we go. Excellent. Smooth as butter.
And do you ever get sort of in the flight deck in real life? Do you ever get like snow blindness? You know, like, because obviously you haven't got the clouds to protect you, have you? You know, when you're above them. Do you ever get that sort of in the cockpit? Because obviously, as a passenger, you can. You can obviously put the blinds down and all the rest of it. Did you get that sort of
well, we have some blinds. Let me just see, is it simulated here? Let me have a little look. Okay, if you want to put on the jerry cam there for a second, I'll just point to something here. Okay, so tell me when it's on.
Okay, jerry cam's on.
Okay, so I have the cursor here. I'm right, just as a little orange bar here, right behind the EFB pad. I don't have an EFB on my side, but that is a blind that actually comes out of there and pulls up and hooks up into here. So that basically gives you some blind protection. You can see through it. It's not fully. It is a transparent blind. And when we look back here, there's not. No, there's not one here. Okay, up here. They don't have it emulated here, but there's right where I'm showing you with the cursor, right here with the cursor, there's also another blind that we can just pull down. It's only like a sun visor in a car. Yeah. But the most important thing, and it goes without saying, is to have a pair of good sunglasses. Always have a pair of good sunglasses.
Yeah.
The great thing about the instruments is they're very, like, I mean, if you're at nighttime, I'll just turn down, for instance, my screen here. At nighttime, we can bring the shade of the screen down, so it'll be nice and soft at nighttime. And in daytime, when it's really bright, we can bring up the brightness. So yeah, everything's adjustable. But good pair of sunglasses to stop the sun blindness.
And do they have to be aviator glasses?
That was in the 80s, but I think
I better put them back in my bag then, to be honest.
Put them. Are you sitting there wearing your sunglasses?
I'm wearing my sunglasses now, Jerry.
I love it. I love it.
Someone asked as well, I can't remember who it was, have you and Jerry met in real life yet? No, we haven't.
We haven't.
So maybe one day that'd be pretty cool.
It will be soon. It will be soon.
I was thinking, if it was nice weather tomorrow. I was going to just fly to Dublin, to be honest, and yeah, but I don't think the storm's going to be playing ball with me.
No.
I think I'd probably best take a commercial flight so I can have a drink anyway, to be honest. And,
Are you saying I'm a bad influence?
maybe, we'll see. Are you both pilot and co-pilot? So, yeah, well, I'm a private pilot in real life, and Jerry is a commercial pilot in real life. Flies is captain, Airbus A320 captain for an airline. So I'm, as of next month, I'm starting my training for the airlines. Essentially, that's what I'm starting next month. It's Taylor on Twitch has said, Dan, what airline are you going for, and what airline is Jerry flying for? So Jerry flies for an airline, and that's as far as that one goes. But for me, I'm really not going to be fussy which airline I fly for, because I can't be too picky. Let's be honest. I can't be too picky on my first job. But what I do want to be picky with is I want to fly jets. That's the only criteria, to be honest. I want to fly jets, and ideally it would be great to fly the Airbus A320 after I've been spending so much time on these streams, to be honest. It'd be unreal to just jump in and think, oh wow, this is all so familiar, you know. Christian has said, I spent months in Ballymun.
Yeah.
Do you know it, Jerry?
Yes, we do. There's a famous story of an Iberia pilot making an approach to runway 34 in Dublin, and when you are on nighttime and it's nice and clear and you're looking at the approach runway 34, the lights on the towers in Ballymun is right on the approach path, and you could easily mistaken those tower apartments as the start of the runway, the way the lights are.
Wow.
So there's a visual illusion. However, it's NOTAM'd very well, and it's just right on the last, say, 1-2 nautical miles of the approach to runway 34.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, very well.
Okay, so I'm just looking outside of the views as well, and we've got some comments. Sarah, Natasha Inch.
Yeah.
I'm scared of turbulence. How do we get over the fear of it? I'm flying to Norway on the 2nd of Feb. So, I mean, Jerry, with all your experience, you're probably better placed to deal with that.
Okay, so what I do, I'm terrified as well. No, listen. Let me explain this. Let me explain this the way people know. Everybody has been in a car. They've gone down a rough road, and it's just a little bump. Okay. That's all turbulence is. It's just potholes in the sky. It's the easiest way to describe it. And there's absolutely nothing to be fear of. And I mean even very rough turbulence. Aircraft are perfectly designed to cater for it. So what I'm saying to you is, believe everything is okay. Trust me. I'm flying for over, what did I say? It's nearly 30 years in total between small aircraft and large aircraft. And I've been through some very rough turbulence, and not an issue. So you've got to believe in yourself. You're okay.
And hopefully that gives you a little bit of confidence, knowing how long Jerry's been flying for, and like you say, the sensations feel a lot worse than what they are. But flying regular does help as well, I'd imagine, Jerry.
Yeah.
You know, so the more you fly, the more you get used to something.
The more you get used to it, yeah. And I'll give you. This is going to sound like fun. And I'm trying to be funny. However, this is a true statistic. Okay. If somebody was to say to me, "What is the most dangerous part of your flight at your day at work?" Okay, this is the truth. The most dangerous part of my day's work is the drive to the airport and the drive home. Once I'm in the aircraft, I'm as safe as can be.
Oh wow! Yeah. I just Nuclear Limit's paying you a lovely compliment there. Jerry sounds like he's in his late 20s.
Hey, no,
Hey.
I'm very open and honest. 49.
There we go. So double it, you know.
I look I'm in my I like to think I look I'm in my 20s. You know? I'd like to think you know, a 21-year-old George Clooney. Yeah, that's the image I want to put out there. George
Well,
Clooney.
the thing is, Jerry probably looks in his 20s. I look in my 40s. So I think we've just done a bit of a swap. I think, you know. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll start to age backwards as I get older, but it hasn't happened so far. Sarah said, I don't like it when the plane drops and moves side to side in turbulence. It scares me a lot.
It doesn't really drop, Sarah. You will think that it drops. It'll go hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. It doesn't. If it moves up and down by maybe 20, 30 feet left and right, tiny amount. That's all. You think it's more. It's not. It's rigid.
Nuclear Limit says, how long is he able to fly until he retires? Now, I believe that the general rule is 60, but you want to argue that, don't you?
No,
Jerry?
it's already done. It's already proven in Europe that 65 is. I don't want to go till 70 either. So let's just keep it at 65. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of another 16 years to go before retirement will be even considered, you know. And it probably after that's commercial flying. It doesn't stop you doing private flying.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
As long as you pass the medical, that's all that stops you on the private side, really. Skill tests, I suppose, as well.
I'm loving this Steve Rowe more and more. Jerry, you're still a youngster. I'm with you there, Steve. I'm with you.
Oh dear. So yeah, Steve Rowe's one of our Patreon members, and it's really I really appreciate that extra support that everyone does give me on that channel. Yeah, Sarah said, don't pilots try to avoid turbulence when they are flying? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, Sarah. Well, let's put it this way. To really tell you, like, and maybe it's a little bit too simplistic, when we go for a flight and we see turbulence forecasted, we normally like to talk to the passenger and say, hey, maybe the first hour is going to be okay. A little bit of turbulence forecasted after that. I'll just keep the seatbelts on. Passengers remain seated with the belts fastened securely. So that's about as much as what you would do. Now, when we look at it, we do try and avoid it if we can. Maybe climbing a couple of feet, maybe descend, you might get out of it. However, if there was no passengers on board and the aircraft is empty, we wouldn't even consider it. We just fly straight through it. That's how safe we're talking.
And like you say, the aircraft's tested to the limit, aren't they? When they bring them out, the wing. I've seen the wing test, the flex of the wings, etc. It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
And if you ever want to see how strong aircraft are, there's a fantastic video that's going around now. I think Airbus did it about 4 or 5 years ago. You can look at it on YouTube. Of course, when Airstream is finished, and it's to do with them testing the Rolls-Royce engine. It was for the Airbus A380, and they actually explode a fan purposely when it's at high power, and watch the energy that's contained within nothing gets out of the casing. So it goes to show you, even though everybody considers aircraft as delicate pieces of equipment, they're incredibly strong and tough for what they have to do.
Like I say, it just gives you a lot of comfort knowing that, doesn't it?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, I've flown aircraft that's 20, 25 years old, not a problem with them whatsoever. They are fantastic, and they're well maintained.
Somebody's asked, can you open the window?
Actually, you can't. There's so much pressure in the aircraft, you can't. Okay, so sorry Dan, I just need to go offside here for a second. The ATC is contacting us for a moment.
Oh really?
Yeah. 129.8, if you can switch it up there for us, please. We've got some ATC this evening. 129.8, please.
Okay. 129.8.
So we all get the first taste of air traffic control this evening. Let's talk to them and see what happens. Radar, good evening. Qantas 764 level 350 to Admar. Can you hear them reply?
Can't hear them. I can't hear them very well. I can turn it up.
Can you hear them?
Very faintly.
Okay, I can't hear them at all.
Are you switched? If you have a look at your panel, can you see 129.8?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Qantas
It's
764
very-
radio check. Qantas 764, we're not receiving any audio. Can you send any clearances via text?
I can hear them. I've just turned them up.
Okay.
Just about hear them. They're very, very faint, very bad signal.
I'll just text them here. I'll have to send the by A cards.
Christian Featherstone, a Patreon member, can you ask Jerry if he's been to Johnny Fox's?
I have. I've been to Johnny Fox's. I've actually parked a camper van outside Johnny Fox's and had a few.
Really?
Actually, Dan, you would love it. It's all Irish music as well.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a sesh.
I'll definitely bring my sort of guitar if I come over to Ireland to see Jerry. That'd be great. Yeah,
it would be incredible. It would be very good. Let's just check these settings in the audio.
What was our call sign?
Qantas 764. 764.
Yeah. Are we mode Charlie? I don't know whether it was
we
just
are.
Called, yeah. Maybe it's someone else that. He did say Qantas though, but it was a slightly different number. Yeah, Christian said amazing place.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're making me want to book a flight to Ireland tomorrow or something. Probably not a good thing before medical though. I've got to make that first.
Yeah.
Does that fellow Irish fella have Instagram?
Me?
Yes.
No, don't do this.
No. He's on TikTok though. Fly Island. Fly Island. Christian said, I'm being extra talkative tonight as I've tested positive, so...
Oh dear. Dan, I might just suggest we switch off from... That's them.
Yeah, let's disconnect.
Let's just disconnect. Okay, let's just disconnect.
It's not going to do us any favours.
No, it's not. It's not. It's going to cause more problems. Okay, disconnect now. Disconnect.
Okay, I've disconnected and
Okay.
that's going out.
Yeah, it just causes more problems because it's taking me away from the chat.
Yeah, that is true. And is this a real plane? Dan Teal has said. No, it's a simulator, Airbus A320 simulator. But we're both real pilots. I'm a private pilot though. Jerry's a commercial pilot for an airline, for an Airbus A320 airline. Right, Jerry, I'm just going to pop in the cabin and I'm just going to switch over to the Jerry cam.
Sure, yeah.
And if you want to just take over shortly, I'll be
yeah,
back.
well, you're actually watching what you're watching me do here is I'm actually setting up for our approach. I'm looking at the arrival going in here this afternoon.
Oh wow. Okay.
So let me just have a little scroll down here, and I can see we're coming in by a Point Sochi. So what I need to do now is actually come up here.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave you with that. I've just
Sure.
got to go back in the cabin. So
Sure. No worries.
I'll see you shortly.
Yeah. So I need to have a little look at our arrival here. So this is what a this is what a good co-pilot would do now for the captain. Sorry, I can't read the comments just yet, so just bear with me for a moment while my head's down here and I have these maps up, so you get to see exactly what we do. So on the arrival, it's telling me, or we're going to be doing an ILS for, I'm going to put in an ILS for runway 16, okay? So ILS 16, I'll select that now in the box. So going into Sydney, ILS 16, I'm going to tell the information box that this is where we're going to do it. Now the arrival, it's a whole procedure to get in here, and I need to look exactly what our last associate, so that's our last point. I want to see, is there an arrival called associate? And looking at this quickly, there is not. There is a Corky. Oh dear, there's nothing here. So we just have to take radar vectors on the way in for runway 16. Okay. Anyway, we leave that now for now. And just having a little look out. The weather's looking pretty decent down route, and it's actually forecasted to be okay when we get there as well. So do pilots and co-pilots before a flight look at the weather so they know where the turbulence is? Sarah, we actually do. We'd actually sit down and we'd have not only the flight plan, but you'd have these little maps, weather charts to show you where jet streams are, where potential turbulence is, where it's after being reported by other pilots and other aircraft. So it's a whole lot of information that's put together, and it's updated on a regular basis. That's grand. That's great, Yvonne. If you just wouldn't mind staying here while Dan's out there, we have to have the policy of only two of us in the cockpit at any one time. Over on YouTube, Christian, you've gone very quiet over there. Keep the information coming. You seem to know a lot of places that I know here in Dublin as well. Where else? Is it a real game? Is it a real plane? No, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We are actually using the mod of fly-by-wire simulations, and we've downloaded the Airbus from them. And you can get that on flightsim.to. The one fantastic thing I've noticed about this is when you download this game and you set it up, they have a default Airbus A320 in there. However, if you download this modification from flightsim.to or fly-by-wire themselves, they have gone and done an extensive amount of development on this mod, on this particular plane and this mod. Now, they both look the exact same. However, there's a lot more functionality on this regards of realism. In the development, they've a lot of real pilots who feed back in. They've a lot of programmers all putting this together, and the best part about it is it's free. So if you're having Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on a PC, don't forget to download this. This is the exact one that me and Dan use. This is something that I'd pay for. However, it's free. Crazy. So what else we got there? Nosedive the plane. No, won't be doing that. Here's the,
hello,
just
Jerry.
Dan back in there.
Sorry, I'm back in there. Sorry,
that's okay. That's all right, Dan. That's great.
Thank you. The aeroplane toilets. And,
yeah, that's all right.
And you might have heard it on the stream actually, and you let me come back in. So I'm absolutely sorry about that. You
can let Yvonne out there. She's at the standing in there while you were down there. So 2 people in the cockpit all times.
That is true, isn't it? There's was that a rule that come in after a certain event? Was it?
Yeah, it was a certain event that took place in the past, and that rule came in. Rightly so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just looking at the views out there. It's absolutely stunning over Australia. And so Christian Featherstone, Jerry, what's your channel? So if you go onto my YouTube channel and scroll right away to the bottom, the link to Jerry's channel's there on the left hand side. It's Fly Island, I think. It should be Fly Island now.
There you go.
Over on, so there we go. Perfect. So I'm not too sure whether it actually links. You can actually click through via that though for some reason. But if you want to actually have a direct link, you can just quickly go to the dashboard, my dashboard. Go to the bottom, and you can click straight through. Good day, Comac and Ox 42 on Twitch. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. And I hope you had a bit of a good chat there when I was gone, Jerry.
Oh, we did. Trying to keep them entertained. They're probably screaming now to ask me to stay quiet. I don't talk too much.
Oh, Jenna, you're a good one. Jenna's sort of tagged yourself in, Jerry.
Jenna, thank you.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed doing these streams though, like because I don't know. I mean, when I fly now, on the rare occasion, to be fair, I fly now with the Airbus A320 on my own. I feel like I've lost my right leg, you know. It's really weird, you know.
That's very nice, thank you.
Well, the Airbus as well was designed, wasn't it, to have crew, you know, and
it is.
we were sort of saying to each other that it feels more of a bit of a chat, sort of, you know, almost like a podcast with the benefit of having a start and an end of a destination, which is really cool, you know. And there's like 71 people over on TikTok.
Wow.
How did you meet Jerry? That is a story. No,
you want to go there?
Jerry was actually just spent the whole stream laughing at me trying to land an Airbus into no, he wasn't really. He was
That was.
No, basically, Jerry was coming one of my early streams when I was basically having a bit of fun with the Airbus. Wasn't taking it too seriously, just hand flying it into various destinations. And some of you might have seen those early streams on TikTok where I was doing that. And Jerry was obviously in. He said, I'm absolutely loving this. I think, you know, and I fly the Airbus in real life. If you need any tips, and I think you started giving me some text on the chat, text tips to basically get me through, you know, to get tidied up a little bit, you know, and that's how it all started. And then you know, I don't know who suggested the joint cockpit thing. I mean, it might have been Jerry, you know.
I think we developed it. In fairness, we both think along the same lines when it comes to this, okay? And we were like, oh, great, we had a shared cockpit and entertain people, and, you know, just see what we could do with it and how far we can bring this. And you know what? I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah, and it like I say, we're trying to, you know, we're trying to sort of, we're trying to basically develop this more and more so that we have, you know, more entertaining features in the streams as well. And we are sort of thinking about even bringing in the ability for our Patreon members to welcome on board actually by voice, you know, at certain parts of the flight. So I will be chatting to the Patreon members to see what they think about that and whether they want to join in with something like that, where
maybe even jump seats for the flight.
Yeah, they essentially take the jump seat and you know, and basically have a bit of a chat with us, essentially a three-way conversation, which will be really nice.
We're working on the technology.
Nuclear Limiter says, what happens in the event of a dual engine fire?
That's
I mean, to be honest, I think obviously the key part of that is that you deal with the problem in hand, and you want to get down safely as soon as possible, really, you know, after you deal with the fire. But I don't think a dual engine fire is a particularly great situation to have in any aircraft.
No, it certainly wouldn't be. You know, it's not something that you would be obviously trying to. If anything is going to happen, it'll be a single engine failure. Now, if you had a dual, you've got a whole lot of other problems there. Now, bear in mind, a dual engine fire, if your engine's on fire, it's still producing some thrust. So that's all I'll say on that. It's a very, very unusual situation to be in. You know, we can't legislate or train for absolutely everything. However, it's, you know, it's not beyond the realms of it happening either. But cross that bridge when it comes to it.
Yeah, definitely. And Jenna said, I'm not sure if you can answer, but do you have cams or a secret not? I mean, certainly procedures like that can't really disclose online, but there are obviously cameras, you know, as you've probably seen on your back of your seats, etc. With certain aircraft, there are cameras on aircraft, and and there will be certain cameras for the flight deck as well to see. So
well, answering that question as best as far as I can, there is procedures. There is ways of communicating. That's probably the easiest way I could put it. And the ways of communication will tell you different things. That's all. That's as best as I can.
That's so I'm just replying back to
sure
over the thing. So yeah, how long have we got for our top of our descent?
We're looking at it right now.
I'm just looking. Yeah, so
you're looking at it right now. So, okay, so descent flight level 170.
170. There we go. And do you call the cabin crew when you're at the top of the descent, or is it is it something that you indicate?
You do.
Yeah,
you do. You do. You'd call them at the top of the descent just to let them know, and obviously check on how things are. They'll let you know, what the situation of the cabin is, just for knowing what's going on, so to speak.
Bless you, Christian. Patreon member is subscribed, Jerry.
I just see that. I just see that notification come through. Thank you very much, Christian. Much appreciated. You'll probably see throughout the day. I'll do some. I'll actually take the King Air out. Dan will be very much aware of this, and I'll probably start putting it on stream a little bit more. Where in the morning times, I like to get up and take the King Air. Today, I took it from Bilbao to Chamonix. And that was an interesting approach. I never did an approach into Chamonix before. We had to follow the instrument procedures in, and it was absolutely stunning. So I'm actually thinking about starting to stream those. If people want to do it, if people want me to do it and have a look at it, no problem.
Yvonne has said, final check in, guys, before we prepare for the cabin for landing.
I'm all good.
I'm all good as well. Thank you, Yvonne.
I'd say if you want to just let her know what time you'll be landing at as well, roughly.
Okay, so we should be landing.
I'd say about 15 minutes.
We should be landing in 15-20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, about that.
I'm just looking at the time is all out, isn't it?
It's out a fraction. You can see the squiggle at the end of the approach there. So what we'll be doing is we'll be getting vector down the right-hand side to the right. Oh, what we're there? We're 16 right. Okay, so yeah, we're going basically straight in.
Okay, so I'm just looking at. So we're just approaching Corky, and we can do a fuel check as well at Corky. Let's have a look at the flight plan. Corky, we should have minimum required fuel 2.5 tons. And we are at basically 4 tons, so we're well in with our fuel at the moment. With that minimum required fuel, by the way, Jerry.
Yes.
Does that take into account anything, or is that literally the minimum that will it take in any reserves? Is that including your reserves?
Yeah, that's your for your alternate and your final 30 minutes as well. Dan, I'm just going to change the runway there. I'll just put this in the box. We're going to be landing on runway 34 left, so we'll be actually going down past the runway where a left-hand turn and in to join. It's just because of the way the wind is going. That's all.
Okay.
I'll just set that runway 34 left in for you. Excellent.
Someone's asked, can you simulate a single engine failure? We are going to look at doing some failures at some point in the stream, but we still need to figure out whether this particular model in the simulator will be able to handle it correctly, or it's something we're going to have to wait for. But yeah, it'd be really nice to try that. Oh, Nuclear Limiter said, can you fly through red radar in real life? When obviously with the weather radar, can you actually fly through it in real life when it's red? Is asking.
It's not something you'd want to be doing, because bearing in mind, a radar is as good as you set it up. You can set it up for intensities and so on. I could look at a small light rain cloud, we'd say, that's out in front of us on the radar, and it's only light. However, if I have the intensity of the returns turned up, on the radar equipment, it will show me red, saying that there's weather out there. However, it's only light rain. If you turn it the opposite direction, where you've got the intensity turned right down and it looks out and sees red, you wouldn't want to go near it. So it depends on your setup. It depends on the manufacturer will obviously tell you this is the way you should set it up, but everybody has their little nuances and their little difference on the way they like to set up themselves. So it really depends on you.
Sarah said, cabin crew prepare for landing is my favourite bit when the pilot says that. It is cool, even for, like say, myself as a passenger. I think any announcements from the flight deck is always well received, you know.
Absolutely.
And do you ever do any announcements about sort of points of interest, Jerry, when you're flying?
If it depends on the route. If we're looking at a route where there is a point of interest on, let's say for instance we're flying a route that would take you over Paris, well, I would wait to do my PA in the cruise till we're getting over there, especially if it's a clear day. So not only can you just do the normal announcement in the air, but you can also point out where you are and the particular point of interest that's down below, and people can actually see it on a clear day. So yeah, you would tie it in.
Fucker says carry out a PFL.
No. on twin engine aircraft.
I'm scared of flying, but I was on Emirates flight and it was the best experience, smooth flight. Yeah, I flew with Emirates. They're absolutely. I absolutely love the Emirates Airlines. They look after you really well. Jet2 was, on the other front. Jet2, I've really enjoyed flying with Jet2 as well on the sort of standard sort of airlines. I think they're really consistent. Has Jerry experienced any failures, Nuclear Limit has asked, in real life?
Yes, I have. Yeah. I've experienced a double cabin. When I say a double cabin CPC, so that's the cabin pressurization system. If one fails, the computer takes over. The other computer takes over, but both of them failed on this particular occasion, and we just did it to manual. And that's it. Off you go. You just manually control it. So all the automation and those kind of little computer failures, they're all just sweets and toys. So it looks after itself. And if they don't work, just go back and do what you normally do. And that's it. So that's the way most things are set up.
Let's go take a bit of an outside shot while we've got.
Sure.
We're not talking about too much. There we go. So there's the Airbus A320. Looks fantastic from the outside shots as well.
Sorry, just reading one of the comments there. The cabin crew seems to be having a bit of a problem with one of the passengers wrestling a bottle of whiskey off them. I love it. Let's see, I think Jennings lost it for sure. He lost the cabin crew.
There we go. Switch it off and in again. Switch it off and on again. Yeah, that's well, it is
effectively that's exactly it. So okay, right, to just even talk that through a little bit more, when one goes, it will automatically take the other one over. If you actually wanted to do it on the ground, you can switch it off into manual and switch it back on. That will switch over CPCs. However, if both of them are gone, you just do it manually. It's simple.
Sarah said, "Nice plane. It's an absolutely stunning plane, the Airbus A320, and it's incredible that our oldest plane is, but the amount of features that it has in it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to learn that the more sort of spending the simulator with Jerry, really.
I actually want to pick up on that comment, Dan. That is a very observant comment, and I'll tell you why. This plane was designed 30 years ago, and it's still state-of-the-art as we speak now. And with that in mind, when it came out 30 years ago or so, what did pilots think of it then? It was just the Starship Enterprise. It was. Daniel, clear to descend to altitude 5,000 feet.
Clear to descend 8,000, would you say?
5,000.
5,000.
And the QNH is, let me just double check it. QNH is 1015.
What's the transition altitude over in Australia?
Well, there's something now. When you're clear to an altitude,
yeah,
you would set the QNH.
Oh, you would, okay.
Yeah, because the last thing you want is the level off at flight level 50.
Yeah. I've set once, set twice, and set 3 times.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. In great shape.
Nuclear Limit said, what happens to a captain if a mistake is made that causes damage to a plane? Is his license removed?
I would imagine that would pen the investigation. There'll be an investigation, that's for sure. And then, subject to what is the outcome, I don't know. I haven't heard of anything. I haven't heard of anything like that happen in a long time. I've heard in other airlines. I think guys were put in for more retraining, or it's a multitude of outcomes.
Image 8091 or IMP, I think it's Image. Can you map the buttons instead of using the mouse? Yes, you can. You can program the PFD and MFD. Yeah, you can. Investigations from CAA, probably, with the captain thing.
I'd say the local authority as to what country it happened in. Yeah, the investigation team there, all right. Well, so
can I still be a pilot if I'm colourblind? Hello, 7479 has said. You can be a private pilot, generally speaking, and there might be, depends on the severity of your colourblindness. But as a general rule, the reason it would stop you in the commercial sense is that you won't be able to get your night rating, generally speaking, unless you can see the difference between red and green, and that's your key colours at night. I think that's the rules, but again, you'd have to speak to an aviation doctor about that.
Yeah. And Dan, you can take up a heading there, 170.
170.
Every single time we play this, we start going through different clouds. I remember years ago, Dan, when in the early versions, clouds were blocks.
That's it.
And now we've real clouds.
It's crazy. It's becoming so realistic.
Yeah.
Let's have a look on the Jerry cam. Actually, we haven't been over to the Jerry cam for a while. If it's
you'll actually come over and you'll see Jerry working here, because Jerry has the charts open, and he's just looking. He's basically. I'll just explain what I'm doing here. We've come down along here, as we can see. We've got a little triangle here, and that's where the aircraft is. I'm looking at these numbers. There's a number here 35. There's a number here 55, 56, and 66. I'm looking at what is the safest level I can come down to without ever hitting anything in that box there. That box there says 35. Put 2 zeros on the 5. 3,500 feet is the safest I can come down. I'm guaranteed not to hit any mountains, any hills, or any obstructions. So that's all I was checking out. There we go. And as we can see, there is a little bit of hills out there, but there's nothing mountainous like Mount Everest or something like that, which this wouldn't be a good altitude to be at.
I'm just trying to find if I can see the Sydney Opera House. I don't think I can. I think I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? I don't know.
I'm not quite sure where the city is in relative, but we'll be coming down like very low now. So we're passing 10,000 feet. We've select 250 knots and cabin crew and lights as well.
250 knots and landing lights on.
And when you can, Dan, we'll have the approach check.
Okay, approach check, cabin crew.
Are advised.
Seatbelts.
Are on.
Briefing and navigate.
It's confirmed and set now for an ILS runway 34 left. It will be an ident of India Sierra November.
Okay. And MD.
It's 220 feet.
ECAM status.
Is checked.
EFS and iPad.
Is stowed.
Okay, and that's the approach checklist complete.
And I activated the approach in the box, okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Jerry.
Excellent. We are going to be sort of overflying with a left hand downward.
Okay.
I'm trying to get us down low early so we can might get some scenery there, you know. So 5,000 feet is safe for us now in this quadrant.
Yeah. And it's nice and clear as well, so we see what we're doing.
Yeah. It got interesting the other night going into Vegas when we were looking out going, there's some hills out there, so let's take the safest route around.
Just have a look at the wing view, the passenger view now.
That's grand.
And there's a yellow tab on the wing. What's that all about, Jerry?
Let me have a look. I'm looking
it's
at
like a yellow
here.
sort of like almost like a 2 finger holes.
Yeah, there's 2 holes in it. Actually, the cabin crew will tell you more about that. It's actually used if you have to use a rope in an emergency evacuation. You can actually hook from the inside of the aircraft out through those holes. So you have something to grab onto as you get out, if that makes sense.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
exactly. And they have the ropes on board, etc. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
A good old piece of washing line got from Woolies. It's a point of hooking, say, a piece of rope or tethering onto.
Yes, it's amazing. Someone said it's for excess baggage.
That's where you tie them on.
Yeah. Are you doing a joint flight? Yeah, it's a shared cockpit. This is Jerry can basically flick the switches. So here's my mouse here. And I don't know whether you want to just turn the seatbelt signs off and back on, Jerry.
I certainly will.
So you see my mouse is nowhere near. There we go, look. And back on. So Jerry's controlling that. And if we go to Jerry's cam, you should have seen him, a bit of a replay of him doing that, because he's slightly delayed on that front because of the streaming. Look at that. So yeah, we've got and it is only for the streaming side that's delayed, not Jerry's flying in real time with me.
Yeah.
It's only for the visuals on Jerry's side. Yeah. Wow, the views are fantastic coming over towards Sydney now.
Dan, I'm going to suggest something sneaky.
Okay.
And this is for everybody who's tuned in, right? Why don't we take a little vectoring around the city before we land?
Let's do it.
Will we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. We're like children here.
and would you be able to sort of point us in the right direction to the Opera House?
I will. I don't know where the Opera House is, but I think it'd be a good guess along that river that's going straight up through the middle. So descend altitude 3,000 feet.
Yeah, 3,000 feet.
And you know what? Why don't we go as slow as we can now? If you manage the speed, and it'll bring you back to green dot clean speed.
Okay, manage speed.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's probably in the 11 o'clock there. I can see a bit of a build-up I can see a small bit of a build-up downtown there. So I imagine it's going to be somewhere there. Okay. Trying to keep an eye in the comments. Somebody in the comments might know where this exactly is and point us in the right direction.
The Opera House is left from the airport. Okay, so it depends on which way you're coming from, though.
That's right.
We're flying south, so
we're flying south. That's right. Yeah. On the coast. All right, they're saying on the coast. I'm going to do a quick Google map here.
I'm just going onto the fly pad and just having a look, see if it will give anything away.
Okay. Has to be the one you go for as a Sydney Opera House, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, it's actually to our left.
Okay, yeah, I'd imagine it's to the left now. I'm just going to zoom out here. Looking, yes, I see it. I know exactly where we're going here according to that route. So turn left, heading 120.
120.
Okay, so everybody needs to keep an eye out here and see, can we see it? It should be on the right-hand side of the main piece of river that's going to come into view, okay? There we go. So it's going to be on the right-hand side somewhere there. Dan, I think I can see it.
Okay, all right.
Let's do a sneaky descent to 1,500 feet.
1,500 feet. Now, I do want to state that this is not real-world procedures.
This is for pure entertainment.
This is pure entertainment, this one. Wow.
And I'm going to assist that to get down a little bit faster. I'm just going to actually select the speed brake. That's not going to work because it's on your side. Smart, leave it. That'll go down.
Okay. Do you want me to...
okay, no, we're all right. We're okay there. Keep a look at... turn left again, another 15-20 degrees.
Do you want me to turn left another?
Yeah, and then 100, heading 100.
Yeah.
And it's... look at that. It's along there somewhere on my right, on my side.
I can see it in the distance.
I can see it in the distance.
2,500.
So I want to go to the outside view when we're going to fly, doing an overfly. I would safely say we would be arrested if we did this for real.
Your licenses are revoked.
So you just keep steering the heading down. You keep steering the heading to this point.
All right. Okay.
You have free reign. There it is. I can see it.
I got it. Yeah. Just wondering where the bridge is. Okay, it's fading in now.
Say again.
I was just wondering where the bridge is.
Yeah, keep going left a bit. Another left a bit. Another left about 15 degrees. I'd say. There we go. I'd say you're going to fly straight over it now. We do this for you, so you don't have to do it. This is going to be a spectacular view. Actually, I'm going to record this. Let's start recording. Start. What about an outside view then?
Yeah, the bridge, because I actually disabled my Orbix bridge and everything,
sure.
so it's for steered. If I'd had the actual scenery on, then it would have looked a lot better than that. But,
sure. There we go, straight over the Opera House.
So there we go. So if we have the scenery installed next time, then we will we'll have a better view of Sydney. That's for sure. But we tried to keep it down to a minimum due to conflicts with the shared cockpit.
Exactly. So Dan, can you climb altitude 3,000 feet?
2,000 feet.
Oh, what a view on Jerry's side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a bit of scenery in here, I think.
Okay, Jerry count.
Okay. Here we go. So there's a stadium or something in there. Don't know what that is. Let's see, can we look further on out? Looking back. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. So pick up a heading of 160 then.
160. I just want to highlight the top gifters from TikTok last time. So Kim was the top gifter, followed by Matt, and Jenna's in there as well. Jenna's in the top gifters as well with 2 coins. So yeah, thanks to all the gifters last time. The top gifters for the this stream will be mentioned like this in the next simulator stream. But thanks ever so much for that. And we've got 14 people watching over on YouTube as well. So if you do have YouTube and you do fancy watching on your TV or a bigger device, then head over to the channel by going via my link tree on TikTok.
Yeah.
And subscribing. Public subscribers will pop up as well.
Okay, so basically, Dan, just if you look at your screen, the point Sojay, when we just go past it, we make it a right-hand turn, joining that point. Then, as we go past it, we'll be turning right. So as we get close to it, it's like 10 miles, right? But another 5 miles, we start thinking about slowing down.
Sure.
What a view! It's brilliant. I don't know what you're getting on your side, Dan, but the cloud formation.
Jerry cam.
Yeah.
There you go. It's easy. That's what we.
Cloud formation. You're actually seeing the same according to the stream.
Jenna said hi, YouTubers. They will say hi back, I'm sure. Jenna said hi. Thanks for the gifts, D Barber. Thank you very much. And how are you moving your views around the cockpit? So we're using something called Track IR5. Both of us are, and it basically tracks your head movements, etc.
Okay. Back to Dan for the approach.
I don't know. I feel, should I give you the control now? I'm just wondering.
No.
Do you want the control, Jerry?
You're responsible. No.
Okay, well, maybe the next stream then is your leg.
Okay,
next stream
maybe
is your leg. We'll do that.
Consider them on the next one.
We'll mix it up. So hello, 7479. I said, what yoke do you have? Thrustmaster, Airbus, throttle quadrant, and side stick. So does Jerry, so it's matched as well for the okay, so Ivana said, going to have to take the defib out for passengers with onward connections at this rate, guys. That's a real emergency.
That's stream comment. That's the comment of the stream at the moment.
Comment of the stream, yeah. Let's have a look outside while we're waiting to get that leg.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, what frame rate are you getting on OBS there?
Good question. I can't turn my head without turning away from the aircraft.
Oh,
so I'll go on a Jerry cam. There we go. And I'll tell you. Where do I see the frame rates?
It's down in the bottom right-hand corner normally on OBS. Gives you stats at the bottom.
I think it's covered. It's covered. It's fine.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No worries.
Let's go and have a look at the outside view of the passenger. And there's some great views actually with this. You can flick to a load of views like the wing view. You've got like an engine view here.
Dan, we're getting a request for landing on a single engine. Are we going to do this stream, or will we think about it for the next one?
What do you want to do, Jerry?
It's not preference, but what I can try to do is show you. Actually, do you know what? We need to talk about this for the next one. Oh, Dan, you just down an engine.
Jerry, engine number 1 just for your hardware side of things.
Okay, engine number 1 you shut it down. Okay, so that's fine. What we need to do is, are you flying this in, eh?
Yeah, I'll fly this in, but you.
Okay, so engine number 1 is shut down. So ECAM actions. We just continue on this heading for the moment.
Yeah.
So you got the speed. Put your engine sorry, it's okay where it is there at the moment. Forget about that flashing lever NCT just for now.
Okay.
So you're on a heading, you're on altitude. The airplane is flying good. It's actually trimmed itself out at this moment in time. If you look down towards the rudder trim, You should see, it's actually not emulated here. You should see the rudder trim going out towards 12 units there, but it's not emulated. However, right, so I'll run the ECAM actions while you just keep it nice and steady. It says engine number 1 shut down if no fuel leak. Balance, we'll monitor the balance of the fuel. TCAS mode, select the TA, so I'm going to switch that on to TA. And TA and avoid icing conditions. So I'm going to clear that. All those actions are done. So clear engine number 1 shut down.
Okay.
I'm going to clear it. So now it brings us to the status page. It says land ASAP, and we understand that, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So the air bleed, it's just basically letting us know that the bleed is not being provided by engine number 1 anymore. So I'm clearing bleed. And it says now the electrics, it actually says we're down 1 generator. However, Dan, for backup, I'm going to go up to the top and I'm starting the APU, which will bring another generator back online and give us backup. Okay. And I'm going to clear that. And then the last thing is the hydraulics is it's all actually balanced out because the PTU is looking after. So clear the hydraulics. We're down to the status page. It says void icing conditions. If severe icing is all good. Cat 3 single only. In-op systems is the wing anti-ice, Cat 3 dual, engine 1 bleed, pack 1 main galley, and gen 1. That's all as expected from a single engine failure. I'm going to so we've no checklist, we've no TRs, OEBs, and CB resets. So I'm clearing the status.
And would you indicate which sort of confirm engine sort of so engine number 1 has failed, but would you confirm it with your throttle quadrants and then bring that down to idle to indicate positive?
Well, you would do, we'd go through all that, but you surprised the hell out of me there. So what we're going to do is set up. I didn't actually want to go through I didn't actually want to go through the throttle quadrant, which we would actually select engine number 1 to idle and then make sure everything's all in order. The reason I didn't want to do that is because of the problems we're having with your controls.
Okay. That makes sense.
So what we're going to do now, while I've all that done, is the last thing you can always revert to bring bring a thrust lever number 1 and confirm it is number 1, all right? Bring that slowly down to idle. Okay,
confirming it's
down to
1.
Okay, so it is number 1. Now, what I want you to do is take the other thrust lever and push it 1 notch forward into MCT. Okay, that's it now. That's slightly backward. However, it's just because of the sim and air controls, all right? So effectively, I've done a performance landing. There's no issues with regards to landing on 1 engine. We've got a long runway. I'm going to give you medium on the auto brake. Okay, Dan, turn right heading 300, cleared ILS approach.
300, cleared ILS approach.
It's actually you're not in frequency with it at the moment, so let's give it a bit of time. Okay, you surprised me with that, Dan.
Sorry, Jerry, I'd like to keep you on your toes. It'll be killing me. Once you get back on the ground, it'll be killing me for doing that. Sorry.
Not at all. So effectively what we've done is we've ran through the procedure for the engine shutdown. The only thing that we've done back to front was the things that we did on our throttle quadrants because of the simulator problems that we do have, Dan. That's all. You would actually do them first, would you believe? Anyway, we're in good configuration here at the moment.
Niall Conway, so he's a Patreon member. Squawk 7700, would you need to do that?
You can squawk 7700, but by this time I would probably just call ATC because we're so close to the airport. You would actually give them a mayday at this stage. And the difference between a mayday and a pan. A mayday is you are in a really bad situation, you need urgent help, okay? They probably have not only okay, can you arm the approach there by any chance, Dan? No? It won't let you, will it?
It won't let me.
No, because you're not actually close enough in there for some reason. 30 nautical miles. Wait till we get to 25 nautical miles. Okay. So a Mayday, they're probably sending units to the fire brigade and ambulance out towards the airport from all units in the city. A pan call, they'd have their own services on standby. You initially would call the Mayday. However, at this point, I would downgrade it to a pan because we're well in control. The aircraft is flying. Believe it or not, it's flying perfectly on 1 engine. And we are making our approach into the city. So I would downgrade. It's not as urgent as what I initially thought. We're okay.
And I can hear like the hydraulics sort of.
You should be able to, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the hydraulics trying to pump, or?
See the word PTU there going from the yellow across to the green. It's the word PTU.
Yeah, PTU, yeah.
You're listening to that pump now. That
okay, gotcha.
Nice, yeah.
Transferring it across.
Pumping, okay.
Still kind of on the approach.
Yeah, you're not within 25 nautical miles just yet. Yeah, okay, 25 nautical miles, you should get the ILS up then. In real life, you'll probably get a bit further where you are, but I'm being strict with the flights.
Matt said, turn inbound, you're nearly in New Zealand. Nigel Taylor, hi Dan and Jerry, long time no chat. Nigel Taylor, he's one of the regulars, but hasn't been on for a while. Question for you both: when you fly on the Airbus A320 as a passenger, whereabouts on the aircraft do you prefer to sit? Oh, blimey.
In the back, 1A with a drink in my hand.
Oh, blimey. Well, I when I fly an aircraft, I like the wing.
Okay, arm the approach there. Sorry, Dan, for interrupting. Arm the approach there.
Approach is armed.
So Cat 3 single. We can actually now see what that says up on the
Cat 3 dual, and yeah.
We can still technically do an auto land, would you believe, on
with one engine? That's
with
crazy.
One engine. So if you turn onto a heading of 360,
360,
you should catch the look. Or that's what that'll do.
355,
yeah. Just to intercept that localizer. So I'm going to have a little look on the outside, and
let me know when you're ready, and I'll beam it over to your side as well.
Yeah, no, I was just wanting to see is one engine turning and one end. Now, actually, yeah, go ahead. You can actually see it.
Okay, so the jerry cam is active and he's looking on the outside of the aircraft.
Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so I'm looking here on the outside of the aircraft. What I want everybody to notice is this is spinning fast, and this one is barely spinning on the other side. So that's the surprise engine that Dan cut out on his one go. So there you go. It does work. Back in again.
And
okay,
back
so
in.
You want to get your flaps out now, Dan? Start
flaps one.
Flaps one. You should pick up the localizer now. Should engage. There we go. Loc star.
Yeah, loc star.
Good job. I'm not doing my medical in the morning.
Ivana Island says second defib on standby out here now, guys.
Yeah. So here's just one other note there, that on an engine failure like that, you would actually bring in the cabin crew and you would give them what they call a NITS briefing. This is nearly an international standard. And basically what you would tell them is the nature of the problem, your intentions, time to landing, and any special instructions, and they would read that back to you, make sure they got clear understanding of it. You could nearly give ATC your problem in that format as well. Do you know what I mean? And you keep it very clear as to what's being done.
That's fantastic. I'd like to say anybody that has that's watching over on the other streams, have got YouTube, then head over to YouTube via my link tree on my TikTok profile, and subscribe, because you can watch them on the streams on the TV or bigger devices, and you get the full experience as well. But I really appreciate everyone that's watching over on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. There's a good crowd out this evening that's gathered.
Especially Friday night, because we know places are opening up.
Definitely.
Yeah. So 14 miles to go. At about 11 nautical miles, we should see the glide slope starting to come down off its stop.
Okay.
I can actually see the runways in sight.
And would we put the nose lights to take off at this point?
If you want to, yeah.
And runway turn-off lights, would they be?
Yeah, you can put them on as well. It's not, you're not going to blind anybody up here in the daytime, Let's just get the not that it'll matter because we've no ATC tonight, but let's have a look at parking stance.
Okay. When would you call the landing checklist? How many miles?
When you're fully configured at about.
Fully configured, basically.
Yeah, fully configured is when you get the last stage of flat
landing gear, etc.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Evening, Stevie B, 6971. How you doing? Regular there.
Super. And just for information, a long rollout on this one with a right-hand turn onto the terminal towards the end.
Okay.
Okay, so your glide's live, so ready for flap 2?
Flap 2, 3, 2,
Let's
1.
go.
Zulu Charlie Aviation, how you doing? Easy Pilot says excellent CRM. Well, I'm just the passenger here. To be fair, Jerry's the one with all the experience, but he's getting me used to multi-crew operations. That's for sure.
We're winging it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh dear.
So 3007 the missed approach, which is
EasyJet.com have joined. Is that EasyJet? The EasyJet? Is that the real EasyJet?
I don't know.
That'd be really impressive if EasyJet have.
I just clicked on them there.
I mean, that's
no.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh my word,
I love it. I love it.
EasyJet.com. I mean, that would have been like celebrity coming on in.
Wouldn't it?
Thanks for the shares, everybody.
2,500.
And flaps free.
What don't we try to gear down first?
Gear down first, yeah.
It's always handy to have wheels when we land. Go.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah, that's
And flaps free.
Flaps 3. And remember, you're on single engine, so you're going to get a lot of thrust on that right-hand engine, okay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when you're ready, flap full.
Flap full.
Flap full. So landing check.
Okay, landing check. Cabin crew. Sorry, Barrow reference.
Is Q and H set.
Also throttle.
The speed.
ECAM memo.
Landing no blue.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm going to give you one small tip.
Okay.
Be cautious if you decide to use manual thrust, and when you disconnect the autopilot for the landing, basically the closer in the better you are lined up.
Okay.
But if we're going to disconnect that autopilot, very small, watch that flight director like a hawk.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jerry. Yes.
I'm going to give you a little bit of trim to the right. Okay.
Okay, I can see that we're actually off.
Yeah, and it's not being simulated. It's not being simulated. Okay, it's all yours then. Clear to land.
Clear to land. Best of luck, everybody.
Oh, we need it. No, you do a great job. You hear how much thrust that's using.
Okay. I'm just the temptation to take autopilot off at this point, but now.
Well, off you can if you don't like it. You have to go around, but remember, you've got to put a lot of right rudder in if you go around. Okay.
Oh my word! Dead engine, dead leg. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Live engine, live leg.
All right, autopilot off. I'm doing it.
I'm strapping in.
Tell you what, Jerry, it does feel a bit different, you know. Here.
Okay, squeeze the right rudder as well. Now, guys, everybody, this is Dan's first time flying what we call asymmetric, right? So all we need is, if it doesn't go right, we do a go around, keep that flight director bang on in the center, watch right rudder there, right rudder, squeeze it up, right rudder, yeah, a bit more if you can.
Yeah.
There we go. Now you've got the things relatively centered. There we go.
Okay.
A bit more right rudder. Keep the rudder in. Keep it in. That's it. Keep the flight director bang on the center. You're doing very well. Okay. And when you land, don't let go of the rudder when you land and close the thrust lever. Okay.
Yeah.
Very well. Continue on.
Continuing.
Absolutely brilliant. Very well.
300.
Squeeze more of the right. Get more of that right rudder in.
100 above.
That's it.
200.
There we go. Doing
minimum.
Very well. Bang on. Bit fraction right rudder.
Fraction right rudder.
50.
And like I say, don't let go of that right rudder.
Don't let go of that right rudder.
Okay.
20. 10. 25.
Restart.
Oh my word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Keep now. Keep it. Rudders. There we go.
My word.
Left rudder. There we go.
Sorry,
Very good. Right rudder now.
There we go. We got it.
Was reverse green. Decel. Brakes now.
And do you know what?
Taxi off.
And do you know what? I was more concerned of trying to pull that sort of auto throttle off. And oh my word, it was all happening very fast at that point.
So keep taxiing off to the right there.
Oh dear. I'm ready for a sort of a swift half when we come into Sydney there.
Yeah, I know if you go a few bars down here would be good. That is super. So basically, anywhere in there, Dan, for a parking spot would be good.
Okay,
near the terminal. So I'll leave that with you. You'll be just doing nice slow taxiing, and remember, it takes a lot of power because you've only one engine. So let's see the comments.
Hamilton has said,
you got it, Dan. Come on, EasyJet will support you. Bit to the left, a bit to the right. Go down the man. Little excursion won't hurt anybody.
Patreon member as well.
Very good. Well, I have to say, Dan, you have zero training in asymmetric flying, and that was superb.
Oh, blimey. Yvonne, I'm a bottle of whiskey here. I was confiscated.
I think she took that off Jenna earlier on. Jenna was starting to kick up. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Surrey Girl, as well. Thank you, Yvonne. Thanks, Craig.
Nice landing. Well done, Dan, over on YouTube. Now, Conway, yeah, they're all giving you the thumbs up. They all appreciate and approve.
It was that was a lot harder. Once I was getting close to the ground, a lot more was happening. You know, it was all right when I was going into the approach, but it was the fine adjustments. I suppose that's where it comes.
Well, do you want to send over to Jerry Cam and I'll start doing the cleanup?
Yeah, Jerry Cam is activated.
Okay, I'll just give it a second or two. Okay, so we're going to clean up the aircraft. So the flow is basically we look up. We'd start the APU at this stage. I won't switch on the bleed just yet. We'll come down to here and we'll disarm the spoilers. Switch off the radar, switch off the PWS, and we're going to put the flaps all the way in, Dan. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
All the way in. Flaps are all the way in. We'll come up here, we'll tidy up stuff we don't need. I don't need the flight director, I don't need the ILS, I don't need the constraints. I'm going to switch them off on Dan's side as well, keep it nice and tidy. And we would then at this point give the cabin crew a bing, and they will know that they can tell the passengers to switch on their mobile phones if they wish. So, and that's off. We switch those lights off, we don't need those ones as well. And that's it, it's all complete then. Oh, car running out in front of us. You can switch it back onto your side now. I'm all done.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I'm all done.
Passive engine hydraulics sounding a bit rough.
Yeah.
Pilot Milton's hold my beer. Not too sure whether it was like that, but it was blimey. It was that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. A lot harder.
Okay.
And that deserves I deserve that for surprising me with that engine failure.
Well, what you really should have done is say when I was flying, you should have just, I think a better setup there. If you just said, "Would you take control for a second?" and next to I'm glad it was you though.
Oh dear.
But you did brilliant. In fairness, you did really, really good.
Parking brake on.
On.
And engine 2 off.
Bleed is on, yeah, and engine 2 is off. And get rid of that, yeah. And we're here.
There we go. Well, we got to Sydney. We got to Sydney okay. Thanks, Jerry. That was. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Thanks for the subscriptions on YouTube. Thanks for the likes on TikTok and follows on TikTok and all the gifts, of course. And I just want to say a big thank you to the Patreon members again that obviously help support the channel further. So on board, we clear doors. So in economy we haven't got anybody, but in business class we've got Living History UK, the aviation guy Matthew Allen, Niall Conway, Steve Rowe, and in first class we have Christian, Craig Salter, and John Restle. I just can't thank them enough for supporting me further via the Patreon, and and I can't thank everybody enough for supporting the channel as a whole. Yes, everybody watching on YouTube, everybody watching on Twitch, and everybody watching on TikTok. Thank you ever so much. The regulars, you know who you are. I really appreciate all the nice comments, etc. And if you do want to help support the channel further, you can join the Patreon by going to patreon.com/flyuk. And I just want to shout out to the top gifters from last stream. So Kim was top gifter, followed by Matt, Paul, and Glasgow, and Jenna in 5th place with 2 coins. Thank you ever so much for the gifters over on the TikTok side from last stream. So the top gifters from this stream will be getting mentioned like that on the next simulator stream. And again, I do appreciate all the support wherever you are watching from. So Jerry, I can't thank you enough as well for helping
Not at all,
me through
Dan.
that.
Well, it wasn't just that. It's the guys who look in. It's what we do here, and the surprise. Hey, it's entertainment.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a great laugh. It is. It's got a bit of a serious note to it on occasion, because obviously we're still pilots at heart. Whether I'm a private pilot and obviously more importantly you're a commercial pilot, it's very hard for us not to get it safely on the ground once that's built in you, but it's also a bit of entertainment, a bit of fun as well, and hopefully that's coming across. So thanks ever so much everybody, and legends, Jenna said, and Yvonne, thank you for being cabin crew tonight as well. I appreciate that. Thanks everyone for a wonderful flight and a little crack. And Gringo Man, well, you arrived already. Yeah.
He left at the start. He was asleep.
Dear.
He was asleep for the whole flight.
Yeah, he's asleep. Noto will be a great watch. Thanks. That's over on YouTube as well. And again, like you say, if you have got YouTube accounts, hop over to YouTube. It's in the TikTok bio, and you can subscribe over there. So you've got a choice of where you want to watch as well. But thank you, and that is all.